Hi everybody, Wes Olszewski here, and we're on board the Valley Camp Museum ship at Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and I'm here with museum curator Paul Sabourin.
Hi,
Paul,
Wes.
welcome to our show here.
Hey, I'm very pleased to be here and sharing the experience of the museum ship Valley Camp.
Excellent. Let's start off with, tell us how the Valley Camp originally got here.
This goes back to 1968, when the city of Sault Ste. Marie was celebrating its 300th anniversary. It was founded by Father Jacques Marquette in 1668. Consequently, in 1968, the Sault Historic Site was established as the organization to celebrate the 300th anniversary, the tricentennial. One of their main goal was to acquire an attraction on the waterfront. So lo and behold, the word got around, and in Duluth there was a ship that was just sitting there, rusting away, if I would say. This then was the start of the museum ship Valley Camp.
Now the Valley Camp is, she's an older vessel. I believe it's 1917, right?
1917, you are correct. She's 107 years old, still in very good shape, ship shape, as I would say. Then in Lorain, Ohio, the shipping handlers then started building a ship for their company, and it was then named the Lewis W. Hill, named after a railway owner that brought coal to the lakehead, or the western part of Lake Superior, dumped it into the Lewis W. Hill, and then shipped the coal down to Lake Erie and to other points of destination. 1917 to 1955, she was the Lewis W. Hill. She was under Hannah and Wilson Marine. After that, in 1955, the Republic Steel from Pennsylvania named it the Valley Camp because of the Valley Camp Coal Company. And she has retained that name then up until 1966. She was then decommissioned, and with a coal-fired steam engine, triple expansion steam engine, which is on the ship, then pretty much that ended her career as a ship. She then was tugged from Duluth to Sault Ste. Marie and arrived here on July the 4th, 1968. And since then, she has been embellished and created into one of the best museums in the Great Lakes.
I'll have to say that I can confirm that for our viewers. If anybody out there has not been to the Valley Camp, you've got to go. You have to go. These cargo holds are huge, but they're also museum huge. So they support everything from aquariums to models to actual life vessels and so on, right?
Yes, we have over 100 displays that are located inside each of the ballast tank with a separate theme. We then have 3 cargo holds. The cargo hold number 1 is empty so that people can see the size and the quantity of coal that was in there. The whole ship is 550 feet long. It is small in comparison to what it is nowadays with the Paul Sabourin, 1,013 feet 6 inches, and the beam of the museum ship Valley Camp is 55. So the cargo hold number 1 was emptied completely, primed and painted, and created into an art gallery. Also in cargo hold number 1, we have a documentary film about the Carl D. Bradley. In cargo hold number 2, there's a walkway on the port side and the starboard side, in the bow and the stern section, and people can walk around and visit and see and read all of the exhibits. In cargo hold number 3, then we have the same scenario, and one has 3 levels that they can visit. The top deck, from where you can see the ships coming by only a couple of 100 yards away. all the way and walking to the bow where you can go up to the pilot house, inside the pilot house. In the middle are all the walkways and all of the ballast tank display, and the ramp can also take you down to the bottom of the ship. In the bottom is one of the main attraction, if not the main attraction, and it's the Edmund Fitzgerald attraction. The display contains the 1.5 lifeboat. I say 1.5 because lifeboat number 2 was found on shore at Batchewana Bay in Ontario, and lifeboat number 1 was spotted upside down, split in half. Those 2 lifeboats were brought into the museum ship Valley Camp, along with another piece of artifacts, which is a portion of a life ring. In the cargo hold number 3, we then have 2 theaters that are then providing a video documentary, 1 hour and 20 minutes, on the controversy of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Something to see.
Now let's talk about what it takes to maintain this vessel and keep it in this pristine condition that we see every season.
For the last number of years, definitely, we're open 6 months of the year, 7 days a week. Our staffing is consisting of 6 to 7 full-time, which are working 12 months of the year. As for myself, I'm semi-retired, so I put in 6 months of the year, 3 days a week, and that is from early May until the end of October. The rest of the staff are part-time. A lot of them are students that then provide for the assistance for the maintenance, provide for the ticket booth, and also the Sioux historic sites. And I refer to sites because we do own 2 Sioux historic sites, and I might point out one of them is the Tower of History. It is that tall 210-foot high cement structure that everybody can see from downtown Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, and also that tower is also where they have the cam that shows the Sioux live, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yes, this is something that we rent the space for the television company, which then produces that particular cam, which rotates on a very slow basis. But then one can also view any of the ships that are coming in, or even better, one can download their app to marine traffic. As you were watching all of the ships go by, you can then also be up on top of the tower and take pictures, which is a beautiful scenery. We have one enclosed observation deck and 2 outdoor observation decks with the history of Sault Ste. Marie, and also memorabilia and the history of the Great Lakes.
Now, if somebody wanted to help you and all these people in this effort to preserve this vessel, what could they do?
Well, the one opportunity that is offered to anybody that comes into Sault Ste. Marie is our membership with the Sioux Historic Site. There are various categories, from the individual to the family to the history buff, and even the lifetime membership, which then provides for financial assistance for the Sioux Historic Sites. That gives you admission to the ship 7 days a week, and from the hours, basically during the summer, they are from 9 to 6. We also receive contribution, financial details, and barely, sometime we do have many of the artifacts that people find here and there, and they are given to us so we can replenish, increase our collection, and be able to provide all of the details and the maritime history of the Great Lakes.
Now, in this room that we're in right now, there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of people here that are important. But also, right over my shoulder is one of the artifacts that you were talking about. Tell us about that.
Yeah, right now we are in the Captain John P. Wellington Great Lakes Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame then started back in the 50s, and it commemorates on an alternate basis an American and a Canadian that has had an impact on the maritime industry of the Great Lakes. So the Hall of Fame have nominations, of which we have a number of people that are all around here. And if one would then want to find out about each and every one of them, then you go to our particular website, SAULT, Historic Sites, SITES.com. There's an option where you can have the Hall of Fame. But let me go back to this environmentally controlled room. The reason we have this particular one is because of one of our major display that's here. It's an eagle, a carved eagle. It was in 1873, carved out of wood and placed on the top of the pilot house of the Vienna. The Vienna was sailing in Whitefish Bay, and lo and behold, in the fog, it got hit by the Nipigon and crawled back, and trying to reach shore, it sank. Over the course of the years, the people having dove in the Vienna and recovered number of artifacts, to the point that the state of Michigan instituted legislation that anything that is in Michigan water stays in Michigan. Consequently, the Vienna Eagle then was here in the Museum Ship Valley Camp, and once the Great Lakes Shipwreck Historical Society in Whitefish Bay were able to establish an environmentally controlled room, then we were providing this as a loan to them so that it would be preserved. 5-6 years ago, we then were able to make inside a ship an environmentally controlled room. This room that we're in right now, as you may well feel yourself, it is not hot, it is not cold, but it is a level temperature, humidity, light, and it is the Great Lakes Hall of Fame. And we have all the various people that have been Hall of Famers, plus the Vienna Eagle, which is right here, and really a sight to behold with the history.
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
I think that does it for us. That's